What is up, YouTube? Justin back here bringing a brand new video. So, I'm sure you guys have noticed I have been making exponential growth in strength and gains, as I'm sure you can see. But I want to talk about how I've been making so much gains. And before I do, I want to give a huge, massive shout out to Rhys McDonald. All right, he's a good friend of mine. We've been talking for pretty much, I'd say, all of high school, but more so recently. I've been talking a lot with him. We both train pretty much the same way. I actually run a program that he made, and I'll leave it in the description below if you guys want to check that out. Right, so I run his program. Absolutely insane. I've been making so many gains off of his program. But yeah, I've been making a lot of gains off his program, and I've been getting hella strong. Okay, so just let me put this into perspective for you guys. Okay, so right around this time during winter last year, but by the way, I've been literally, I haven't gotten sick in so long. Where's wood? I need to knock on wood. The floor is wood. Knock on wood. I haven't been getting sick in so long. I've been just staying consistent in the gym, eating right, and I've been feeling great. So hopefully I don't get sick ever, or like in a really long time. So I got sick last year during this exact time, but so November of 2017, I was able to hit a 355 squat, a 385 deadlift, and a 265 bench. All right, let me put this in perspective for you guys. I now squat 405. And I took a fat break from training during after I got sick put it this way, from pretty much December to right around May. So I started training again in May last year, and then I got injured in late June, so I was out for the entire summer. Started getting back into training again in September of this year, of 2018. So like this school year, basically. This school year is when I started getting back into training. So that's the perspective. So like, that there was a fat break, and like I've been training for, let's see, September, October, November, December, 4 months now, consistently. I'd say very consistently compared to how I used to train. So that's like how the big break. So I used to, like I said, those are my numbers: 385 deadlift, 355 squat, and 265 bench. Okay, I deadlifted 385 for 5. I squatted 355 for 3. Cake, probably could hit 365 for 3 right now. And I benched 265 for 3 pretty easily as well. And my maxes now are a 300 bench, but 315 should be smoked in about, I'm gonna go through another training cycle. After that training cycle, I would smoke 315, the living shit out of it, honestly, maybe even 320, 325. I squat 405, and I deadlift 455, as you guys saw in the video that I actually uploaded. So now what I'm gonna talk about, you guys know how much progress I made. To me, it's insane, and I think that you guys, if you've been lifting for a long time, you also think that it's insane. So now I'm gonna get into how I've been making so much progress, and that it's really easy if you take what I'm about to tell you into account and you start using what I'm about to tell you. If you start using these tips that I'm gonna give you, this advice, you will see the same amount of gains as I'm making. But of course, everyone's different. Some people struggle with gaining weight. That's a big factor in getting gains. You need to be able to gain weight pretty easily. For me, I have no problem bulking. I can bulk all the time. I love eating food, so it's really easy for me to bulk and get big as fuck. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is this is the most important thing. If you only use this step and not the others, you will still see insane gains. Consistency. You need to be, when you run a training program, like a training cycle, you need to stick to that shit, all right? And I know, things will get in the way, so this is my recommendation. If you see yourself not even being able to get 3 days a week in the gym, then you need to figure something out. If you're an intermediate lifter or an expert lifter, if you're a beginner lifter, then 3 days in the gym will make you gains no matter what. But if you're an intermediate lifter like I'm an intermediate lifter, you should be training at least 5 days a week, 6 days preferably. For me, I've been doing pretty much 5, but after this like week, I'm taking deload this week. Next week, I'm going to start going 6 days a week. But anyways, you want to stay consistent. You want to keep going week after week. You don't want to miss days. It's so important to stay consistent. It's not even like the days, like you can skip a day. It piles up the weeks, the months. Like these 4 months that I've been training have been insane. I've been so consistent, and you can see that I've been making so many gains. I've been getting so strong, and it really matters. So consistency. Number 2, eating properly. If you're trying to get stronger, this is for beginners. If you're a beginner, you should be bulking. Forget about cutting. The only reason you would want to cut is if you are 20% body fat or above. If you're under 20% body fat, if you're even 20% on the dot, don't give a fuck about cutting. Bulk, bulk, bulk. Keep eating more calories than your body burns and keep going higher. Literally don't stop. I mean, you're gonna that's not true. Do stop, like limit yourself, of course. You don't want to become obese. But for me personally, I've been bulking so hard, so heavy. I'm almost 200 pounds. I'm 193 pounds. As I'm sure you can tell, like, I'm not a small guy. I've been getting so big. So, and my body fat, if you guys want to know, it's probably like 17 or 18%. Like, I'm not shredded or anything. I mean, I consider myself lean. Like, I don't see like myself as like fat. Like 17-18% body fat with the strength that I have, I'm completely okay with. I don't really care about having like fucking pitch perfect abs. Like, I really don't care. What I care more about is strength and gaining muscle. Like, there's a little bit of fluffiness, but that goes along with gaining muscle. You have to get comfortable with the process of gaining muscle mass. There will be fat along with that muscle mass. Like, if you're fucking David Lade, you don't get fat, but that's so rare that you will have godly genetics like David Lade. So when you're bulking, if you're an average person with like decent genetics, you will gain fat, and some people will gain more fat than others, but it doesn't matter. You're still gaining that muscle mass. That's what matters. So when you're gaining muscle mass, when you're bulking, you will be gaining muscle mass and fat. But if you worry about the fat, then you're gonna it's gonna interfere with your bulk. You're gonna be like, oh no, I want to cut. Don't let it affect you, bro. The thing I'm gonna tell you right now, and I want you guys to take this forever when you're bulking in. If you wanna be a powerlifter, if you wanna get strong, you wanna be strong, you wanna have a good body, you wanna have a good physique, you have to get used to being comfortable with being fat, because you're going to have to get a little bit of fat to gain muscle mass. Period. There's no other way, unless, like I said, you're like David Lade, you have godly genetics, you have insane genetics, you're just shredded, you're lean. So get comfortable with being fat. Bulk heavy, and bulking in return, when you're bigger and when you're heavier, the more weight you can lift, and the stronger, like the heavier you're going, the same thing is going to go with all your lifts. You're going to be getting stronger, and it's just going to keep going up. That is what you want. That's what I want. At least that's what I know I want. I want to get stronger. That's what I do. That's what I want to pursue. But I also am gaining muscle mass, and like I said, as you guys can tell, I'm really not that fat. I have 17 and 18% body fat. As long as you're working out, you're training hard, you're eating, you have to eat your macros, you have to eat good. And I mean, I eat a lot of junk food. I really don't care. I'll eat it as long as I get my macros and all my good macros. If I get all the good stuff first, then I'll have bad foods at the end, like junk food and like stuff like that, because I really don't care. But the point is, bulk heavy, and you will see insane progress in your size, and you might get a little fat. Don't worry about it. You're going to be getting so strong too. Alright, so this is the third step and the final one that I'm going to give you guys. Get as comfortable as you can with your main 3 lifts, the bench, squat, and the deadlift. If you want to make gains, that's the way you're gonna do it. If you want to get stronger, it's so easy to get stronger on them. If you keep following honestly, I'm gonna put the program in the description below. Like I said, if you guys want to check that out, you can. And this what I'm about to say is about to tie in very well with that program. If you keep running it, this 3 weeks, you run the 3 weeks, and then you take a deload. And then for me, I do a mock meet after I take the deload after 3 weeks. After I do the mock meet, I take 3 days off or so, 3 days or so. And then I'll hop back on the training cycle. That's what I like to do. That's how I prefer to do things. I like mock meets. I think they're fun. But the way I do mock meets now, I don't just do the bench, squat, and the deadlift compress into one day. I actually do the squat one day, the bench the next, the deadlift the next. And I might separate them because I want to have as much power and strength as I can. So keep increasing weight each training cycle. So if you hit a top set of 3 with 355 on squat like I did, then next time I'm probably gonna do 365 for a top set of 3. And then the back off sets in the program that I'll link in the description below, you don't really have to worry about them too much. You will obviously be able to move more weight on them, but it's more on the top set. The program that I'm gonna leave in the description, most of the focus of the strength progression is in the top set. The back off sets, you can kind of like go decently heavy. Don't go like a really heavy RPE because you're just gonna waste a lot of energy. You want to put most emphasis on that top set, and the back off sets are just to get some good volume. So probably for me, I go like RPE 7 for the back off sets. But if it's low volume, so like for me, when I did the top set at 3 with 355, I think I recorded that actually, so you guys would have seen that. I did 3 sets of 8 after. 3 sets of 8 or 2 sets of 8. I can't remember. And I did it with, I think I did it with 275. So that's like RPE 7 for me. I definitely could have gotten like 295, maybe even 300 for 3 sets of 8, but I wanted to conserve energy. I also did it beltless. I do my back off sets beltless because for the squat and the deadlift, obviously on the bench I never use a belt. So I do the squat on the bench, my back off sets without a belt because I want to keep my beltless strength up. So yeah, stay consistent, guys, bulk heavy, and keep increasing your strength, increasing weight on each lift on the top sets of your program, and you will see insane gains. Same with the accessories. Treat the accessories just like your back off sets on the squat, bench, and the deadlift. You know, like after each training cycle, add like 5 pounds to every accessory, and you will make gains, guys. It's completely impossible that you will not make gains if you take these 3 steps into account. So it's been Justin, and I'm out. Peace.